of course, is to build your confidence and skills around Reels, and I'll talk about that a bit, obviously, more in a sec. But thank you for being on time. I really appreciate it. And you've got your cameras on, so well done, you. And this is, of course, training for anybody, no matter what, if they've opened their first Facebook account today, or whether they've had an Instagram account or whatever for years, it doesn't matter. It's for anybody. And this training is going to be absolutely fantastic for people to plug people into, for them to revisit themselves, but also, to introduce somebody to social media. So this will be shared in the boards app, which I'll talk about in a sec too. So some relevant and necessary info for this point right now, right? So and if you're watching this back on replay, obviously this won't pertain to you if you're watching it in a month or two's time. But we have a wellness tour coming up, Young Living's Wellness Tour, which is an amazing opportunity for newbies, for prospects. The business opportunity will be talked about. Rick Arnold's been talking about that on our leaders call, and he said this is something they're really keen to do, and it's going to take the pressure off us, by getting people along so they can see the company and what the company is about. So promote, because this is a rare opportunity, right? This is once a year thing that they do this, and it's a great opportunity for content. So content on social media, content like stories, reels, even a live maybe, and posts. So it's a great one to get along to. Also, you can see the graphic on the screen, hopefully. This is the next webinar that Mary, Kate and I are doing. This is the second part to adrenals, energy, and what was the other word? It's Monday night. My brain has gone a bit. Anyway, to that one.
Stress.
Well, thank you.
Stress.
Thank you. See, I was so relaxed.
I was on mute. Sorry, I was off mute. I'm going stress, and no one's hearing me because I'm on mute.
Super relaxed. And so, yeah, this will be literally about the gaining energy back once they've, started. Hopefully they've already started on repairing their adrenals and supporting their adrenals. So that's going to be 12th of March, 7 to 8 Queensland time, 8 to 9 New South Wales, Victoria time. I will put this up in the Facebook group, Dreamcatchers Facebook group, after this, and you'll see it in the upcoming March, email that comes out, the Dreamcatchers Digest. We're not going to have a March team training, I have decided, because normally I run these team trainings right in the last week of the month, but we have Escape, and I've thought carefully about this. It's leading into Easter, and I want the people that are going for Escape to really be able to focus completely on that. And also we've got the Vitality Tour happening in the second half of March. So I think that is enough. I hope you agree. And I just want to say well done to anybody that is in the running, it doesn't even matter if you're not in the top 70, the fact that you are putting up your hand, that you have actually committed to this, and that you're going for it is fantastic. That's literally how you grow your business. That's literally how you strive. So I just want to say ahead of time, I think you should be incredibly proud no matter where you land on the leaderboard, because you are giving it a go. And I have to mention Kristen Boss's Rise Up Summit. If you haven't heard of it, contact me at the end, or, I'll probably post about it in the Dreamcatchers business group too. So this is an online event, runs from the 19th, around 19th, 20th of April or 21st of April, but it's online. We have access to it for about a year. I think it's a year. And this was a game changer one for me last year. And I'm going to say just as important, if not more important than convention for me in terms of what it taught me business wise. So if you really want to step up in the business, I highly recommend having a look at that. No, I mentioned no March team training and resources to plug into. Please remember the boards app. So again, as I said, there are going to be social media modules. It's in the process of me putting it together. This is going to be a system to plug people into. It's literally going to save you time down the track. If you have somebody that wants to start, and they're interested in sharing online, which I think everybody should be looking at, to be honest, this is something to say, here you go, and you can just flick it to them and it's all going to be there. All right, it's going to take the load off you. And that's what you want. You do not want to be doing this stuff before silver or even gold, if you can help it. Okay. Do not, you want to be focusing on building your team. That means, you know, getting out there and enrolling and helping others enroll. All right. So are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? If we have a man eventually watch this, we don't want to be, you know, don't want to just say, because there might be some husbands that jump on board. Okay, so we have tonight reels, right? So actually, just, you know, with the ladies on there, I know that Mary Kate's done reels. Have you done a reel yet, Amanda? Just interested. It's again, no judgment. There's no, you know, you've done some. Awesome.
I've done lots of reels.
Awesome.
I've done heaps of reels.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay.
But not lately. I've been a bit busy lately, but yeah, I've done lots in the past.
Okay. So for those that haven't or don't even know what I'm talking about, a reel is a short video on Instagram. Generally, I think it's up to a minute, but what Kristen Boss is saying now, and of course things change and they go, but she says basically 8 seconds to 30 seconds is what you want it. The shorter it is, the more kind of, it depends, of course, how you're going to do it. And we're going to talk about the structure, but the whole point of a reel is to get eyeballs on content, is to build trust with your audience and show them you in a new way. Like a static post, which is just a picture, is one thing, but a reel gets them to, you know, you can show your personality through a reel. They can hear the inflection in your voice. If it's you, it might be, I did one, I had, oh my gosh, huge numbers watching the reel I did recently, where I actually took a clip of, now what movie was it? It was Erin Brockovich. Because I was getting frustrated with hearing people's attitudes.
I saw that one. That was fun.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you literally the steps that I went through in terms of planning that reel out, because it was only very short, but I really wanted it to have maximum impact. And oh my God, I've got like over 600 views. I mean, that's for me is huge, which is awesome. So you want to. The whole point of a reel is you want to create wider audience, right? You want to widen your audience. You want to drive traffic somewhere. And we'll talk about that a bit as we go on as well. So, you know, actually, and that's your call to action. You want to, in some of the reels, promote products. You might want to promote some products. You don't have to. And brand awareness. And the brand awareness is you. It is not Young Living. And this is what a lot of people don't necessarily understand, because people will enroll and sign with you. They're not actually signing with the company. They want someone they can trust, and they want someone real. They don't want someone perfect. So that takes the pressure off, right? You can be your authentic self, rock up with no makeup on, or like me, whenever I did one lately and my hair was crazy, and I got so many compliments of my crazy hair. And I'm like, well, clearly that worked. So they want a real you, okay? So I'm going to be showing you a PDF in just a sec. Give me a moment. I'm going to bring it up. And you're going to get this in an email. So I'm very excited about this, because this is literally what I would have loved starting out. So hopefully you can see that, right? So this is a PDF that you'll get tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Well, maybe later tonight I might be able to send it, actually, if I want to be able to include this video in it though. So actually, let's say tomorrow. And then if you get it earlier, fantastic. So I'm just literally going to read this out. If you've got a notepad and pen, great, because we're going to be doing activity after this, and I've got a bug or something flying over me. That's why I'm doing that. So there will always be a new trend to follow when it comes to reels, but the strategy is always the same, and it's really important to nail down this strategy, which is grab their attention, okay, with a hook. I'm gonna explain this more as we go. Keep their attention. So as they're scrolling the reel, and this is what people will stop for, they will stop for a reel more than a static post. And that's value, right? That they can see that, oh, there's actually something in this for me, even if they're not thinking it at the time. And then guide their action, being a call to action. Nail down the strategy and you'll stay in the game on social media. Trends come and go, but skills last. And that's literally from Kristen Boss herself. Okay, because you can be following, there's so much advice out there about it, and you've probably seen it on Instagram and stuff like, you know, do this to grow, whatever. And there's so many things coming at us, But this is really what you need to do. If you really laser focus and hone in on this and get really good at doing this, you will build a following and you'll build trust with your audience and you will build your business through it. So a hook is something that gets their attention, gets somebody's attention as they scroll. You literally have 2 or 3 seconds, if less, to do this. Okay. So if you remember my little my mini, it was a mini reel. It was literally like, I don't know how many seconds. It was like 4 or 5 seconds. My hook was something like what I wish, what I'd love to say to a woman who tells me it's too expensive to, natural options. And I let that little video do the talking. And I use the fact I personally love, what's her name? The actress? My brain, Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, and I was thinking about my niche, right? My niche is women like me, 40s, 50s with teenagers. And I thought, what kind of movie would she like, right? A powerful woman? Yes. And, in that era, and I obviously, I'm not talking to a 20-something girl a 20-something woman who may not even know that movie. Okay. So I'm very much targeting, I say targeting, but looking to capture the attention of that audience that I want, that my niche market. And so selling is simply an exchange of value. When you consistently provide value, your audience will either give you their time, attention, and or energy. And this is the huge thing. I should have put that in italic or something. Time, energy, and attention. They are the 3 things. If someone's giving you one of those things, that is massive. Okay. This is the #1 currency of marketing online, because becoming a person of value. This, it's how you earn the right to sell to someone, and you have to earn the right. Just because you are friends with someone doesn't mean they will read your content or they'll be seeing it. You have to earn someone's attention or eyeballs on your content or the follow. And this happens when you build trust with your audience over time. And this is something you need to do apart from your product. Okay. So there are some really big influencers that I look at and I think, oh, they've got a huge account. What do they actually sell? And I can't tell from their feed. Because they're sharing just their daily life, or, clean, like, I don't know, like there's one lady that all she does is clean her house. And all I see her doing is like folding laundry and making the bed. And I can tell you, bores, I'm sorry, I would go nuts doing that. It's not my thing, but she's doing really well. And she's actually a Young Living lady, so it's working for her. So that's her jam. So value on the left-hand side. So we've just talked about the hook, right? So that value is really key. These are the ways that you can offer value. It consists of any of the following things. Empowering people. That is maybe giving like a motivational quote, or being motivational, or inspiring, or relatable. So for example, because you shared your story, and it doesn't need to be anything like groundbreaking or, like huge, it could just be a very simple story, but it empowers them to take some kind of action. Or they might feel, oh, I can actually do that. Okay. But here is the kicker. You must be vulnerable and deeply relatable here, because if it comes across as you telling them this is what you need to do, you could turn people off. So you've got to be a bit raw, a bit emotional. If you can, I say emotional, but you've got to open yourself up. I did this today in and I also shared my experience in a live as well. So it can cross over. Okay. So I actually shared an experience that I had when I started the business, and the reason why I said yes to the business was somebody coming in and running a class for me. So experiences, it could be a shared experience. It could be, and this is great for connection. So everyday experiences are great. And it can be something as simple as I almost thought of this the other day, going shopping, and I went to the toilet and the smell, oh my God, it was just so chemical. It was crazy. That is something I could have shared about how nauseous I felt, and how, why it's so important to use chemical-free stuff at home. It doesn't have to be, it can just be everyday stuff, because people do that. They go to the loo in shopping centers, right? Educational, saving them a Google or YouTube search is a huge one. Something tried and true, something you've done that actually works, and that you're saving them the trouble of having to, go through trial and error themselves. So for example, you could say, here's what's worked for me. A problem that you have experience solving, or how to make something easier. For example, a hack. So it could be a laundry hack or something, okay? And then entertaining. And that was partly, of course, what I did with the Erin Brockovich thing. It can be funny, it can be silly, it can be relatable. It could be, if there's a performer in you or a bit of a comic, mum humor, for example, just show your personality, okay? And that can come out not just in you doing something. It doesn't have to be dancing, but it can come out in the choices of little clips that you even choose, okay? So I worked out, I literally Googled, because I've been fascinated, how do people share the clips? And I discovered that if I pull down on the right-hand side of my phone, and you ladies might already know this, but if I pull down on the right-hand side of my phone on my iPhone, it brings it and I can record, and I literally Googled, how do I record my screen on an iPhone? And I just want to share with anybody else watching this on replay, literally how I built my business in the last couple of years as me being Googling. I've just thought, oh, I need to know this. And I just Google. So Google is the best thing ever. If you're looking at me thinking, oh, she knows so much, or at Mary Kate or at Amanda, Google, right? And then give it a go. So a special note after all those things that I've just listed, you do not have to fit all the above categories when it comes to value. Do not think that you have to cover them all. You don't. Do what feels right and feels most natural to you, and play with it, okay? If you're thinking, I don't know what feels most natural to me, then treat the next 30 days as I'm just going to have some fun, and I'm going to put stuff out there and see what lands, see how it lands with people, see how, and have fun with it. When someone watches your reel or reads your post and thinks, me too, you've been valuable. And you may not see this happen for a while, but eventually it will happen. I've been doing this now quite a few months. I've gotten like random messages from people going, oh my God, I love that, that video, whatever, and literally saying, this is me too. So I know that, and some of them are Young Living members in other groups. I don't even care, because I know that it's actually hitting people that I want to attract. So I know if it how shall I say, if it resonates with one person, it's going to resonate with others. Does that make sense? Okay. So the guide, this is the last step, okay, is your call to action. You have to guide them to tell them what to do. So for example, comment info to learn more, follow my stories for more, tell me what your thoughts are, grab the free link or whatever, let me know what you think. And another quote I just wanted to share from Kristen was that viral is a matter of luck. You do not need to go viral to build this business. Value is a matter of consistency. Value consistently will build your business, okay? Do not think for a moment that you have to go viral to build, okay, to succeed. That is a huge fallacy or myth, okay? So far, how are we going? All good so far? Great. So here is your cheat sheet, okay? I'm going to walk you through, and this is something you can do, and even if you don't sit down and actually jot these things down, it's like a thought process, especially I'd suggest that you do give this a go, especially if you're not like super clear on what you want to achieve with a reel. So what kind of feeling I'm just going to talk about, when you're reading this, what kind of feeling do I want the viewer to have watching this? Okay. It could be, like it could be joy, or it could be empathy, or it could be love, or I don't know, whatever feeling. Okay. What thought or thoughts do I want them to have after seeing this? Okay. Now, an example could be, I could do that, or she's just like me, or me too, or yeah, I get that. Something as simple as that. Okay. Do not overthink it, but this will actually guide your choices for your reel. Okay. So how can you create this? And by create this, I mean the feeling and the thought, okay, for them. And so think about music. think about tone of voice that you might be using if you're doing it for yourself, if you're speaking yourself, and maybe some imagery. Think about those things. Like, do you want to evoke a feeling of, for mums, it might be, with young children and that feeling of, how much love they have for their children, and how precious they are, and, maybe using chemical-free products or something. So think about the imagery that you might use there. Music is a huge one. And I say this because coming from a music background, I trained at the Conservatoire of Music. I'm sure you girls know this, but I cannot tell you how critical music is. And so have a play, like actually listen to some, go through, and I've actually got a playlist. I've actually got it in my notes on my iPhone underneath headings now. And so, pop, uplifting, nostalgic, I actually put them under headings, and you might want to choose something that's, trending, or maybe not, totally up to you, but at the time. But music is a really big one. It can actually grab their attention as well. And music can speak in ways that you might, it basically can support whatever you're doing, and it can add to that. You don't have to, it can take away the need for you to talk so much. So grabbing their attention, and this is, so basically you'd be jotting down your notes here. For example, 3 ways to do something, or are you like me? Or top 5 ways to, here's an easy laundry hack, what I wish I knew, the number 1 mistake, just something short. And I'm just thinking of that Boy Swallows Universe from Netflix. I don't know if you girls have seen it, but Trent Dalton, who wrote that book, top-selling book, he is a writer. He was a writer for the Courier Mail. And in the story, he talks about the fact that you had to come up with a really sharp, short headline of 3 words. And I think of that when I think of grabbing their attention. I mean, obviously my reel the other day was a bit longer, but I think if you can do that in really concisely over time, you'll be on a winning strategy there. And then keep them engaged with value. We've already talked about that. Okay, so what is going to be your number 1 point of value? And it could be something that you become known for, like 1 or 2 things. You might be going, yep. And for me, obviously I'm an educator, so I love doing that. But I also love sharing, I do love being entertaining. I do love, having a laugh myself. And so also what I want to say is pay attention to what you will stop for when you're scrolling. Like, what entertains you? What will make you stop? Because your niche, the people that you are looking to attract, are going to be very similar to you as well. And then keeping them engaged with value, and then your call to action. So again, it could be comment something, or like, or share, or whatever. So this is just a little planning thing, right? So when it actually comes time to then do your reel, because let's face it, we don't always have this all planned out when we want to do a reel. This can be just ahead of time, and you can actually bank some of this stuff. Like when you get ideas, you might do a voice memo in your phone, and then you might sit down and go, yep. And you might have I don't know how you work this, but you might have a display, like a document wallet, where you actually keep a record of this stuff, and you can just pull out a reel sheet and right, I'm going to do that one today. Or you can, if you prepare this ahead of time, you could actually, what they call batch reels. You might record 2 or 3 reels in an hour, like in a short space of time, and have the content there ready to go, and then put it together later. Does this make sense? Just to save time. I'm just talking about time-saving strategies here, because we're all looking for that. And then the last thing you're going to get in the PDF, literally from Kristen Boss. Did I say that? Yes, I did. I shouldn't have copied it, but I did. Is a prompts list. So this is stuff that you can go, oh, I'm stuck for an idea today. I'm going to pull one out of the list. Okay. So, and of course, there's ones here that can be, don't think that once you use one, you can never use it again. You absolutely can, because believe it or not all your audience are seeing everything you post. Okay. The algorithm doesn't work that way. So yeah, you can just pull them out and go, yep. And what I've done with my prompts list over time is I've actually circled it, or underlined it, or ticked it. Probably, I think I've ticked when I've done it. And then I get through, quite a lot, and then I go back and, oh yeah, I want to redo that, and then I cross it. So I know that, okay, I've done that on twice, but in different ways. Okay. So I have just, really thrown that at you. Any thoughts so far? How are we feeling?
Yeah, what were you saying about that gentleman and his quick thing that you said when grabbing your attention and you're talking about a gentleman's book or something?
Boy Who
Oh,
Swallows the Universe.
Frank Dalton. Okay. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's been made into, so the book is called Boy Swallows Universe. It's a story. It's a story.
Right.
Turned it into it's a best-selling story book based on his real life, loosely based.
They've
Yeah.
turned it into like a series on Netflix, I
Yes.
think, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a writer for the Courier Mail, and in this story, and this is based on his real life as well, like he wanted a cadetship, he wanted to get a job, and the head of the newspaper said to him, well, give me a headline in 3 words or less, like 3 words, and he couldn't think of one.
Headline 3
But it's
words.
because they're trained to grab people's attention, right, to draw them in.
Gotcha.
And so
That's all
yeah,
thank you.
that's all right.
Headline in 3 words. I just missed it. Thanks
Yeah,
heaps.
that's right. So yeah, it's just something to think about. Okay, I'm not saying you have to use 3 words. It's just something to think about when you're doing this.
Maybe.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. So here is what the plan is for you ladies and people who are watching the replay. So here is your challenge. You're going to post the reel by Friday this week, the 1st of March. So it's Monday night now, right? So you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days, and you have to show your face. Why do you have to show your face? Now, you don't have to show your face in every reel, but the reason why I'm asking you to show your face is to build trust with your audience. So it's a challenge, right? And I don't want you overthinking it. I don't want you thinking you have to glam up. You do not have to glam up. Okay? You might like to, brush your hair or something, but you don't need to glam up. Totally up to you. But by Friday, that follows the set structure. So I'm being a bit of a teacher here. I'm being a bit of and Amanda will get this. And if you do that, and maybe tag me or send it to me or something, you will go into the draw for a $30 Amazon gift card. Yes, I am actually getting you to do the homework. So,
do you offer that to the students at school, Meredith?
Sorry? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you offer that to students?
No, but I have actually got a sticker chart now, which I don't know how it's going to go because they're for very young kids. But as my kids said, they said, Mum, we love stickers. Kids love stickers.
They do. They still love them in high school.
Okay. I'm going to sneeze. So I'm just going to mute myself for a minute. Sorry. But I want you to actually start. Hang on. I'm about to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze that would be not good, would it? Okay, hang on. Just give me a moment. You're going to have a go right now on the right-hand side as I blow my nose on mute. Just having a think about, have a look through on the right-hand side. Right now, what kind of feeling do you want the viewer to have, etc.? You're going to think up a reel. Okay? I'm going to give you, it's 8:30. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. All righty? Off you go. And don't stress out. I was going to say, don't stress out if you can't think of one. You might just brainstorm. It might just be you might get a few ideas, but it's just starting your brain, right? Just getting your brain going. At 9:30 p.m. your time. So both of you are doing very well. Okay, 2 minutes into it. And I will also say with this cheat sheet, you don't have to go from top to bottom. You might start with like the call to action, what you want them to do. You might work backwards from that. Okay. It doesn't have to be from the beginning, from the top. So whatever thoughts come into your head, just go with those. And it can be really good to actually begin with the end in mind. Like, what do you want them to do? And then think of, like for me, I often think of the call to action, what I want them to do, and then how would they need to feel and what would they need to think in order to do that. So then I'd go back up to the top myself. Because everything comes from a thought or a feeling, right? Often feelings more than thoughts even. But they go, yeah. And because a lot of people are emotionally driven and they will often go with it, they'll take action on feelings more than thoughts. We're seeing this now with the Taylor Swift, the Swiftie, the Eras tour. I have never seen so much of Taylor Swift in my whole life. I'm not a Swiftie, but I cannot believe how I've been drawn in.
Me too.
I actually end up watching the documentary on Netflix.
And I haven't gone that far, but literally all my students are talking about it. It's Taylor Swift fever at school. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yep.
I don't even know half her songs.
And I know I'm going.
I mean,
and I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, but very, very, very clever marketing. And her mother is a business marketer. She credits her mother with a lot of her big success. And what I've noticed with it, like the Swifties, right? They are collectively identifying as a group. They wear those bands. I don't know what they're called, but so that
like bracelets,
right? Friendship bracelet. So you can see a Swiftie from, so very clever in terms of, they want to be identified. And look at the money these parents are spending. Like I've seen some mothers getting their daughters to these, like doing anything to get their daughters to these concerts after they've been telling, I've had people say, oh, I don't have the money for XYZ, but they're spending thousands going to Sydney or Melbourne. And I'm like, I said to John tonight, oh my God, I'm seeing women that I never thought would have the money doing this. And that is a feeling. And they're talking about in their posts, they're going, lifelong memories, the feeling of being here. And that's what's driven them, right? That's what's driven them. So, yeah, it's been really interesting. And I've certainly got a whole new respect for Taylor Swift in her, even I want her glittery boots, I have to say. Not that I could probably pull them off, but yeah, it just goes to show, right? So I've actually even considered using a Taylor Swift. Like I did use a Taylor Swift song at one point, but like now would be a great time to use a Taylor Swift song in a reel or something, a meme with Taylor Swift or something, and I don't know if either of you do follow Kristen Voss, but she does this really well as well. Like her content is really entertaining and yeah, she really hooks you in. So how did you go with that, ladies? I know I talked a little bit about this. Does that help you? Gives you a bit of a idea?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Woohoo! Within 40 minutes. Go me. That's awesome. So don't overthink it. And the whole point of reels too, I've had some people say to me, oh, I want to do a reel a day. Well, for me, I'll be honest, that's too much for me. I cannot get a reel done every day. And I don't want to just do reels. I do want to mix it up. So my goal is 2 or 3 reels a week. And at least one of those is showing my face. So that's my goal. And I want you to understand as you're stepping into this, don't give yourself a hard time. If you think, yep, I'll do 3 reels a week and you only do 1 in a week, you're taking action. You're putting it out there, right? The whole point is to feel the fear, feel the discomfort, do it imperfectly, just smash it out and get it out, okay? And don't stress and don't think, oh, I've got to do it perfectly, because imperfect action consistent imperfect action will always trump perfect in action, like, you know, as I say, perfect content that isn't consistent. They're just sporadic. Okay. When people see you doing something as you, they'll think, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. Okay. Any concerns or questions before you go?
Well,
Okay.
I do have one question. In the value, when you want to do, is there any reason to do a thought-provoking reel? So, because it sort of doesn't fit in with any of that except maybe educational, but are people
That could-
just not interested in that at all?
That's a good question. Can you give me an example of what you mean?
Well, when you guys were talking about Taylor Swift, for me, I'd be like, why would you be watching? Like, for me, I would just rather do a reel like saying, what's thought-provoking? Like, why would you spend all that money on a Swiftie concert? But then it's like,
That might be a
negative
story.
Nancy over there.
I think that might be a story. Like you can put that in the stories and put a poll, like a question up or a poll,
Mhm.
like to get people voting. Like,
Mm.
would you, you know, spend the money to
Mm.
go and, you know, I think, yeah, I think personally, I
Yeah,
think it's
okay.
more of a story.
I think a
Mhm.
poll's a good idea for that too, because there's plenty of people who don't have any interest in Taylor Swift, so that might evoke the other
But
side.
you could,
Does
but
that
you could
make
do
sense?
it. You could do an entertaining post. Like you could go, or,
Yeah.
like you could actually have something like you could make it entertaining where you're going, looking at the Swifties and then going, and me over here, and like you could do something with your eyes rolling or something.
Well, that's what I was looking at, but I just thought, oh, does anyone really want to hear it when
No,
everyone
well,
like
that's-
yourself?
But that
You're
no,
like,
but that is
oh,
connecting with you. You're letting them know your personality and what you know.
Yeah.
So that you're
That's right.
gonna attract your people. But I think an
Because
entertaining,
there's
you know,
like,
yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's a good idea. Like half my students don't even have any care for Taylor Swift. So it's really funny watching the struggle in the classroom between the
Mm.
Swifties and the non-Swifties. So that's something that you could capture
Yeah.
Mhm.
in a reel.
And look,
Mm.
you know, my daughter's in a group and the rest of them are pretty much, you know, enamored with it. And Miranda's like, and they've said to Miranda, you know, are you a Swiftie? And she said, no, I like listening to classical music where people die. And what she's talking about is actually Harry Potter, Alexandra Desplat, who was the composer for the Deathly Hallows. She absolutely loves that music. And they're just like, of course, that's you, Miranda. So I'm like, okay, Miranda, I don't know if you need to say where people die, but sad music, you know, classical music, she just loves the emotive music. So yeah, it's interesting, right? So you could make a joke at like that Taylor Swift is everywhere right now, and here's me over in my corner doing my thing. Like, do you know what I mean? It could be anything. It could be even that little meme of that little, what's his name, Grogu from Mandalorian. Like, I'm over here. whatever, yeah, whatever you think, you know, and you'll be amazed when you start this process. I'm sure you realize this. You'll wake up in the morning or at like whatever time in the morning going, oh, I've got an idea for a reel now. It'll just pop into your head and it'll make watching Netflix even a business activity. Because literally, I'm watching things now going, what can I use?
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Yep. And I literally am now like looking at Schitt's Creek because I don't know if you girls have watched Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yes.
Right. Allez-vous, the episode Allez-vous, where they
Yep.
decide they're going to give network marketing a go and earn $600,000 a year.
Hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. And so I'm actually
Yeah.
been recording some of the little like, you know, snippets from that. And I'm going to work out because it could go like I could turn up, but I'm going to try and make it really like basically here are the big mistakes. Like they play on every mistake.
I do.
That,
Moira's so funny in that. You could do so much
funny.
stuff.
Yes. So I'm thinking I could
Mm.
get a few reels out of that. And yeah. So all right, here we go. There you go. I've actually almost run to 45 minutes. Sorry, everybody. All right. Thank you for joining me. I cannot wait to see your reels, lady.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to say something else. If you do more than one reel, you get more than one entry.
Woohoo!
There you go. I've just upped the ante. Mary Kate will be like, yeah.
I've got such a busy week, but yes, I'll aim for 2.
But don't stress if you don't. But hey, I thought I'll reward you if you do too, because you know it does take effort. All right, ladies, have a
Sure.
great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
See
end
ya.
of week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
Bye.
Amanda.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Kate.